Well, hey there. So, this is fall festival season, and more than likely, in the last 2 weeks, your church has had one. So, if you haven't already, put on your calendar a debriefing meeting, a meeting where you get to praise your leaders and some of your workers for the great job that they did, and to talk about what went well and what could be improved on. While it's fresh on your mind, this is the best time to go and have that conversation, and also to plan some for next year's fall festival. I don't know about you, but in addition to going to my own church's fall festival, I take my kids to other churches' fall festivals, and a lot of times they have great ideas. So I want to tell you about one or two great ideas that I came across this year. The first one is a church held their fall festival on Halloween night, which was a Thursday, from 5 to 7 p.m. And they had two registration stations at the entrance of their building, and the fall festival was held in the gym. One registration station was an express station where members or friends of members who had a index card filled out already with all the registration information could just come in, turn it in, get a bag, and go on their way into the fall festival. Very easy way to help make sure that everyone turns in a card and you don't clog up the walk-in line. So the other line is the walk-in line, people that just walk up and want to come in. This church was smart. They had registration tables. Some fall festivals don't do registration tables. They just let people come and go. That's great PR. It's great public relations for the church to the community. But I don't consider that outreach because you don't have a way to follow up. And in my mind, when you're doing an event for the community, you're either doing something just for PR purposes. You're just getting your name out there and leaving a good impression and hope they come back. Or you're doing something that's an outreach. And with an outreach, you are usually doing just as much advertising as you would for a normal PR community event, but you have a registration table. And that registration table makes it where you get their name, address, phone number, email address, ages of the kids, their names, and just a way to follow up with them. Follow up is one of the keys to doing outreach. So you go in, they have several stations set up for a walk-in or walk-up registration. You fill out the card for your family and you turn it in. Then they give you a bag, one for each kid, which is really smart because not all kids come with their own baskets for putting candy in. So they went ahead and gave you a bag. In that bag already has two cards in it. One card is the ABCs of the gospel. Now, I went to 3 different fall festivals this fall, and this was the only church that handed out or did anything related to the gospel as far as trying to tell people about it. So I thought having the ABCs of the gospel, which is a way of communicating the gospel to kids, was very appropriate. And they actually printed out their own. They didn't go somewhere and order a bunch. They saved some money by printing them out by themselves, folding them, and putting them in the bag. Then they had this postcard-sized card in there as well. One side tells you about their upcoming VBS. They already have their dates planned, the theme planned, and they want to let you know that it is for K through 6th grade. Now, there's no information as far as registration is concerned on the card, and looking at it, there's no website information. They'd probably have been smart to go ahead and create a website with a save the date on it so that people could later on register there. But hey, this is still a huge step in the right direction. So the other side of it has holidays at the church, and it talks about Thanksgiving, Christmas services, and their normal weekly schedule for Sunday school and worship on Sunday mornings. So for someone that doesn't know much about the church, it was great for me to have this. And hey, I'm all about having something to encourage people to come back to shortly after your fall festival. And in this case, Thanksgiving services and Christmas services are the best. At those Thanksgiving and Christmas services, they'd be great to go ahead and have their Easter plans advertised, or maybe some sort of winter activity that they're doing with the kids. And of course, they have VBS advertised, which is one of the biggest outreach events of the year. It's fantastic for churches, and I'm really glad that they're already promoting next year's VBS. So with that said, I want to encourage you, if you are on church leadership and you just had your fall festival, go ahead, if you haven't already, schedule a debriefing meeting where you get to encourage the people, thank them for serving, but also learn from this year to better plan for next year.